Baykar's TB-3 UCAV successfully fired live munitions during its first test, showcasing precision strike capabilities. The TB-3 can operate from naval vessels with short runways, making it a strategic asset for coastal nations. Obviously, scaling up production could face some bottlenecks, especially as global demand for UAVs seems to be rising and had been rising for the last 5 years and probably will for the next 50. Turkey's success with the TB-3 highlights is growing a role as a leader in cost-effective drone technology. Cool.
It's scaling production to meet global demand without your supply chain collapsing again. The biggest challenge isn't proving that this TB-3 thing works. It's going to be delivering it again at scale while maintaining your quality and your supply chain security. So global demand for UAVs is skyrocketing. I mean, I can't think of, in the defense market, what is in greater demand than that? I mean, it's huge.
It's the number one.
So you're going to have production bottlenecks, critical components like your avionics, your sensors, your engines. You've got export control and licensing to deal with. Turkey is becoming a major drone exporter, and this is the Baykar thing's coming from. But geopolitical restrictions and sanctions is just going to slow or even block their deliveries. And then you've got manufacturing and workforce limits to consider as well. So can that Baykar, whatever it's called, Baykar, ramp up production without sacrificing quality or creating delivery backlogs? There's the challenge, is supply chain again.
So I want to take a slightly different approach, which is, the first firing test, huge moment. That just happened January 18th, 2025. It also recently made history by taking off and landing on a short runway vessel. The tech here sounds great. The real challenge is how the TB-3 is going to be survivable in a high threat combat zone. They've got testing happening. More testing is coming. Next up, they're going to look at the payload and munitions integration test as part of the ongoing development process, which is all in line with this timeline they've got of create, test, take those results, create, test, take those results. So we're looking at how is this feedback of the to change process, the testing loop, going back into the design, continuing to pass tests is going to be the challenge. Continuing to take the results from tests to make sure this is a combat ready vehicle in the time needed is the biggest challenge to look at here.
So it's kind of the survivability of this thing that you're talking about. But again, what good is an effective drone if you actually can't build enough of them that matter? So it's proving itself as a cost-effective strike drone. I get it, but ramping up production is where your defense programs are going to live or die, because you just can't get them out there. Then you got nothing. Right now, UAV manufacturers worldwide are hitting supply chain wars. They've got avionics problems, engines, even raw materials are becoming harder to secure. So if Baykar can't scale efficiently at the same time maintaining the quality, then this test is just a kind of a cool demo at the end of the day, not a game changer. So they've got to fix that end-to-end supply chain and manufacturing issue.
I mean, it's capable of beyond line of sight operations. It's capable of takeoff and landing on a short runway, on aircraft carriers. Besides just reconnaissance and surveillance and intelligent missions, the TB-3 is going to be able to launch assault operations, do smart munitions stationed under wings. If it lives up to these testing expectations, this is going to be, like, I know we've said this word before, but really a game changer. And the question is, how do you make sure it lives up to that? How do you make sure that it can become that game changer in this field? And I think we're going to have to look at the smart factories for the rapid, scalable UAV production. To look at we've harped on it every discussion today so far, but supply chain integration.
Yeah, I mean, that again, that's your manufacturing piece. I think where you're coming from is you want it to be survivable, and that's for that you've got to have your simulation, your validation in place. Probably some artificial intelligence playing through on that simulation side of things as well. So it really is, as you say, bulletproof. It's survivable in all conditions. The production supply chain issue, which I stand by is still the biggest problem, is making sure your factories are sufficiently agile. I don't know whether you can modularize this, probably you can, to be able to switch out things, because they're just going to hit supply chain bottlenecks, because it's happening all over the world on all the UAVs at the moment, which are out there. So supply chain integration we would put in place, making sure you've got alternate sourcing for key components to make sure you're not running short just at the last minute. See you next week.